red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Good blood, bad blood, good blood, bad blood, good blood, bad blood, good blood, bad blood. Unique New York, unique New York, unique New York, unique New York, unique New York. Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. 11 benevolent elephants, 11 benevolent elephants, 11 benevolent elephants, 11 benevolent elephants. The black bug bled black blood, the black bug bled black blood, the black bug bled black blood, the black bug bled black blood. Peggy Babcock, Peggy Babcock, Peggy Babcock, Peggy Babcock. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I am a thistle sifter, I have 7 sieves of unsifted thistles, and 7 sieves of sifted thistles, for I am a thistle sifter. Amidst the mists of fiercest frosts, with barest wrists and stoutest boasts, he thrusts his fists against the post, and still insists he sees the ghost. Oh, what to do tonight today, at a minute or two to 2, a thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do, for they'll beat a tattoo at 20 to 2, a rat-a-tat-tat and a tat-a-tattoo, and the dragon will come when he hears the drum, at a minute or two to 2 today, at a minute or two to 2. She stood on the balcony, inexplicably mimicking him hiccuping, and amicably welcoming him in. She stood on the balcony, inexplicably mimicking him hiccuping, and amicably welcoming him in. Every single syllable I speak upon the stage has been specifically, scientifically selected to stimulate the sections of your cerebrum that set and sustain a certain satisfying psychological state. 1 hen, 1 hen, 2 ducks. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 Limerick oysters. 1 hen, 2 ducks. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 Limerick oysters, 6 pairs of Don Alfonso's tweezers. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 Limerick oysters, 6 pairs of Don Alfonso's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 Limerick oysters, 6 pairs of Don Alfonso's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, 9 apathetic, diabetic, sympathetic old men on roller skates, with a marked propensity for procrastination and sloth. Let's see. Give me the gift of a grip-top sock, a drip-drape, ship-shape, tip-top sock. Not your spiv-slick, slapstick, slip-slop stock, but a plastic, elastic, grip-top sock. None of your... Nope. That's why we practice. It's giving me the business. None of your fantastic slack, swap, slop from a slapdash, flash, cash, haberdash shop. Not a knick-knack, knit-lock, knock-kneed knickerbocker sock with a mock-shot, blob-mottled, trick tick-tocker clock. Not a rucked-up, puckered-up flop-top sock. Not a super-sheer, seersucker, puka, sack-smock sock. Not a spot-speckled, frog-freckled, cheap chic sock off a hotchpotch, moss-blotched, botched scotch block. Nothing slip-slop, drip-drop, flip-flop, or clip-clop. Tip me a tip-top, grip-top sock. All right, magic time. Good morning, and I hope everybody's doing really well. Let's see how we do here. Feeling lucky? I sure am. I almost worked. Good morning. What? I don't understand that. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I feel great. It's been a fun day. Been doing some traveling this week, so that's always exciting, and I'm very much looking forward to this. It's been thinking about the stream all week. I love this part. Nonsequently, good morning. So glad to see you here already. Thanks for joining me. Nonsequently, my #1 streaming fan in history. Ooh, I'll tell you all about it. Let's go to the chat chalet. Let's see. I'll probably talk about this a little bit later in Roses and Thorns too, but I just got back from a North Carolina theme park. It's called Tweetsie Railroad. It's like a theme park from like the 1960s, it feels like, and it's up in the mountains in a town called Blowing Rock, North Carolina, where it's about 20 degrees cooler than it is down here in Charlotte. I went with my wife and my 2 kids and my wife's sister and her husband and their 1 kid, who's adorable now. Definitely my new favorite niece. She's fantastic. She's learning how to talk and everything is adorable. You got to ride on a train, see cowboys fight other cowboys, and there's a little, like an old county fair. It's not the rides that make it great. It's the fact that it's 20 degrees cooler, and it's really, really pretty. So I got to see everybody. That was really, really nice. I enjoyed that quite a bit. But I was there yesterday, and I had to wake up at 5 o'clock this morning to drive all the way to Charlotte to get cleaned up and shaved and all that. And so I'm a little bit off my game, but, that's kind of my deal. What kind of theme parks have you been to? Cooler is fantastic. It's the best. I'll go anywhere. Hey, good morning, Shayna. Glad to see you. We were just talking about Tweetsie Railroad. Have you ever been to Tweetsie Railroad up in Blowing Rock, North Carolina? It's a delight. I think you'd enjoy it. Which theme parks have you been to? Now, I haven't spent much time in Connecticut. I don't even know if they have theme parks in Connecticut, but I am curious. Never been? Oh, you'd love it. You'd love it the most, Shayna. It's a very, very chill place. They got all kinds of fun stuff. Entertainment, and they got a little petting zoo up at the top, so you can pet the goats and the llama and get bitten by an emu. That's what I did. That's an emu scratch, if you're curious. And get to spend time with your kids, and I've been going there since Orion was 2, so about 12 years now. Grew up in Atlanta. Six Flags Over Georgia. I'd never been to Six Flags. My understanding is it's a lot like Disney World, except different branding, right? You got your Warner Brothers rides, you got your Batman rides, all the DC stuff. What's your favorite part? I used to spend my theme parks when I was a kid when I was a kid, my parents weren't particularly fond of me, so they would do anything to get me out of the house. And my dad and my mom used to drop me off at a theme park. They give me a season pass, and they drop me off at the theme park right when they open, and they'd pick me up when they close. And I just walk around the park all day by myself. Water park was my favorite, Adventure Island. And I would spend most of my time swimming around the pools trying to find quarters so I could play video games in the arcade. That's how a 10, 11, 12-year-old boy thinks. But I had a wonderful, wonderful time. Got some sun. I think most of these freckles are probably from... Oh, is that not totally true? Dad's here. Ah, well, I wouldn't be. I was a pain in the ass. Right, Dad? Dad's here. Which part's not true, Dad? I'm curious. I didn't even know you were in the room. I'm glad you joined us. I was a jerk. I'm sure I've discussed this with you before. I was a young man on a powerful medication, Dexedrine. So that made me very, 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 very talky and outgoing and overconfident. And it's just tough to be around, I think. I was just an irritating dude. I am still a little bit of a pain in the ass. That's fair. Yeah, I'm worth it. Not for everybody, but the 3 of us. 4 of us, huh? Nonsequently's here. That's exciting, too. But small price to pay for the pleasure of my company's the way I feel about it. What about you? You ever go to a theme park? Nonsequently? Oh, we have a couple in here, and Six Flags in Massachusetts. Ah, I see. Very cool. I'm not for everyone either. That was Pete Holmes' last special was called I'm Not For Everyone, which I was kind of upset about because I wanted that to be my next special. That's be great. Oh, hey, speaking of specials, my special dropped this week. So if you get a chance to watch it, Dad, I posted links. And consequently, I don't know if you've ever seen my stand-up comedy. I posted links Which comedian show is named that? Oh, I got there before you did. Pete Holmes. I highly recommend it. My special's called Mostly Joking, and it's by Open Bar Comedy. It's a very well put together schedule. Special, man, I am tired, that I really, really enjoyed making, shot down in Florida. So I sure hope you will check it out. If you go to my Facebook, I posted a whole bunch of links. If you go to my Instagram, I posted links in the stories. And I'm sure you can just go to YouTube and type in Open Bar Johnny Millwater. You saw it? Oh, thank you so much for watching, Shayna. I appreciate it. Apparently, it's gotten 1,200 views since it dropped on Wednesday, and 3 or 4 YouTube comments, which are delightful, and several that are not so much. But one guy said he looks like a Baptist preacher who lost his mind, and I think that's an excellent description of my comedy, and I'm thinking of stealing it for the next time I put together a bio. Yeah, well, I hope everybody watches too. I'll be posting clips of it every day from now on, probably. And 4,000. Oh, hey. Not too shabby. Got a couple extra. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much, consequently. Hey, I was about added it to my watch later. I am honored, and I sincerely hope you enjoy it. Dad, I think you've heard all the jokes before, but you're always welcome to watch it if you're interested in my stand-up. Dad has been flirting with me a little. Yeah, I figured he would. Yeah, it's. I think you like to flirt, and I think Dad likes to flirt, and I think it's a match made in heaven, since neither of you is going to show up at the other one's door. You know what I mean? What kind of flirting has Dad been doing? Nothing too out of line, I hope. Yeah, still Dad, you know. I don't want to end up getting screenshots and getting canceled by proxy. Is that a thing? I don't know. Sounds like a thing. But I'm very happy you're all here. And yeah, consequently, I don't know if you know this, but my dad started following Shayna on Facebook, and he's commenting on her posts every now and then. And speaking of that, what's been going on with you this week? Take me out last night since my date canceled on me. Ah, yeah, he would. That'd be great company at a show like that. Okay, let's see. How to sum up Shayna's week from my impression, from the vague things I've seen on the social media. Shayna's been doing new paintings, a lot of new Maryland stuff. She got a new stencil that's based on Banksy. Just a little girl with a red balloon. That's a classic. She did a few of those. This down here was from a couple of weeks ago. This is a live Shayna. This is one of her black and whites that I really enjoyed when she was in monochromatic mood. She was supposed to go on a date last night, it's my understanding, to go see a great covers band, a 90s 2000 cover band who did a couple of Beastie Boys songs, which I like a lot, but her date canceled on her. I hope you don't mind me sharing this. Her date canceled on her, said my son and his friend want to come over, and we can't go, and that makes me sad, but she got all dressed up, and she looked fantastic. She posted a picture on the Facebook, and everybody said, you should go anyway. And she did, and she had a great time, and I admire the hell out of you for making the right choice and going out there and living life anyway. You don't need some dude to keep you company to enjoy yourself. I really miss live music. I used to, when I was on the ships, every single day I'd go watch the band perform. Or several bands, and the soloists too. I love the soloists. So it's been a long time since I've seen live music. I've never seen live music in Charlotte. I'm not even sure I could go at this point in my career, at this point. But other than that, things are good. Let's see, what else is going on with Shayna? She just tried a new pricing technique that I hope catches up. That I hope catches on. I don't know what the flux means at the top of the tag. But this is great too. Dad, okay, let's see. Forget it. Shayna also found a VHS tape of her recording herself in the 9th grade, talking to the screen just about her future and trying to talk to her future kids. I think you posted the entire 8 minutes first, and then you took that down. So now you're posting like a minute or two at a time, and I've seen 2 of them so far. One of them is where you're talking about vegetables and not forcing your beliefs upon your children, which I admire. If they don't like Brussels sprouts, you make a replacement with green beans. I think it's a good system then. I think it's a good system now. All right. 40 years younger and lived in the same zip code. Oh, that's nice. Consequently says, that's too bad about the canceling. Glad you still had a great time. Were there any songs or anything that stood out? What was the best part of the big show? I'm really interested. Do you watch live music, consequently? Do you go out and see them? Or do you only see musicians professionally? A lot of, I don't even know. All right, folks, I've got some kind of Adobe thing going on, so I am going to hope that nothing else goes wrong and spin the wheel. Got all kinds of great stuff with you for you today. Let's see. How about, got to find the wheel. That's too bad. Do you play an instrument? Oh, hey, pros. Cool, I got some good stuff. Let's head into the pros library. Let's start off with something Dad loves, I know for sure, and something that I love quite a bit. And then we will talk 11-11, make a wish, everybody. And I will talk to you guys about your music in just a second. This is from one of my favorite books that my sister used to read to me when I was a child. Yeah, we might get some sonnets, who knows? I go by the wheel. So let's start. This is the preface to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, a wonderful, wonderful book. I've read probably more than any other comedy book in my life. And if you haven't read it, I can't recommend it enough. And there's a whole series of them he wrote before he died. And there's even a couple other ones that were written by other people after he died. Not quite as good. This is the preface to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy lies a small, unregarded yellow sun. Orbiting this at a distance of roughly 98 million miles is an utterly insignificant little blue-green planet whose ape-descended life forms are so amazingly primitive that they still think digital watches are a pretty neat idea. This planet has, or rather had, a problem, which was this. Most of the people living on it were unhappy for pretty much of the time. Many solutions were suggested for the problem, but most of these were largely concerned with the movements of small green pieces of paper, which is odd because on the whole, it wasn't the small green pieces of paper that were unhappy. And so the problem remained. Lots of people were miserable, even the ones with digital watches. Many were increasingly of the opinion that they'd all made a big mistake coming down from the trees in the first place. And some said that even the trees had been a bad move, and that no one should ever have left the oceans. And then, one Thursday, nearly 2,000 years after one man had been nailed to a tree for saying how great it would be to be nice to people for a change, a girl sitting on her own in a small cafe in Rickmansworth suddenly realized what it was that had been going wrong all this time, and she finally knew how the world could be made a good and happy place. This time it was right. This time it would work, and no one would have to get nailed to anything. Sadly, however, before she could get to a phone to tell anyone about it, a terrible, stupid catastrophe occurred, and the idea was lost forever. This is not her story. But it is the story of that terrible, stupid catastrophe and some of its consequences. It is also the story of a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Not an Earth book, never published on Earth, and until the terrible catastrophe occurred, never seen or even heard of by any Earth man. Nevertheless, a wholly remarkable book. In fact, it was probably the most remarkable book ever to come out of the great publishing corporations of Ursa Minor, of which no Earthman had ever heard either. Not only is it a wholly remarkable book, it is also a highly successful one, more popular than the celestial Home Care Omnibus, better selling than 53 More Things to Do in Zero Gravity, and more controversial than Ulan Khulufid's trilogy of philosophical blockbusters, Where God Went Wrong, Some More of God's Greatest Mistakes, and Who Is This God Person Anyway? In many of the more relaxed civilizations on the eastern rim of the galaxy, The Hitchhiker's Guide has already supplanted the great Encyclopedia Galactica as the standard repository of all knowledge and wisdom. For though it has many omissions and contains much that is apocryphal, or at least wildly inaccurate, it scores over the older, more pedestrian work in two important aspects. First, it is slightly cheaper, and second, it has the words "Don't Panic" inscribed in large, friendly letters on its cover. But the story of this terrible, stupid Thursday, the story of its extraordinary consequences, and the story of how those consequences are inextricably intertwined with this remarkable book begins very simply. It begins with a house. I love that book. All right. Oh, hey, we got some chats. Let's talk. Now, let's see. There aren't too many live venues near me, unfortunately. I'm very sorry to hear that. If I keep attracting musicians, maybe I'll make a band. Hold on, the thing is on top of the thing. Here we go. There we go. TBF. Guess I'll never know. DJ Shayna asked about sonnets. She said, Jim, if my only requirement to date me is if you recited a sonnet to me every day, would you do it? Weird. Jim, I'm just teasing. Sonnets aren't my favorite either, although Johnny does a good job with you. Very kind of you to say. Johnny, did you seduce Debbie with your sonnets? Not at all. I seduced Debbie with a cool hat. I used to wear a fedora back in college, and she thought that was cool. And then I made her laugh, and that was the whole thing. Then we slowly fell in love. Nobody listens to my sonnets except you guys, and I don't know if anybody wants to. I just enjoy saying them out loud because it's challenging. We'll do one in a little bit. Goodbye, and thanks for all the fish. That is the third book in the Hitchhiker's Guide series, and it's based on a song. If you've never read the book or seen the movie, after the world was about to be destroyed, the dolphins all escaped, being super intelligent creatures we didn't know. They all escaped and left simply a note that said, so long, and thanks for all the fish. Jim, you're not leaving, are you? No. Fish. I'll explain it. That's what we're talking about. So long and thanks for all the fish. It is such a great book. The whole series makes me really, really happy. And thank you so much, TBF. To be fair, if I keep attracting so many musicians, you'll start your own band. Do you date musicians? Is that what you mean by attracting, or do you mean it from work? Forgive me, I was reading the thing and I missed it. Nice. Have I dated a musician? Everybody I've dated, with the exception of my beloved wife, has played the violin, if you could believe that. I think that speaks to how challenging I am. But Debbie's not a musician. I play around, I sing a little bit, and I play a little bit of piano and a little bit of ukulele, a little bit of guitar, but not much. But I'm curious if you play an instrument, consequently. And Shayna, I know you play the piano, and Dad, he doesn't, which is cool. Played the violin in middle school. See, there it is. And I can even imagine what you look like, because I've seen video of you in the 9th grade. That was so amazing. That was pretty bold of you to post that. I'd be too shy. That's really cool. And you seemed like a wonderful person back then, too. Use the word nice a lot, which I like. All right, we're all caught up. Let's spin the wheel. See what happens. Ooh, Shakespeare. Nice. Meet me at the Shakespeare stage. All right, this is where it gets tricky because, there you go. I'll do the thing in just a second. Dad said, is there anything you can't do? Now, there's definitely different ways to interpret that. There is the vocal, is there anything you can't do? Which is positive. And is there anything you can't do? Which is negative. But yeah, there's tons of things I can't do. Can't juggle. No matter how hard I tried, no matter how many years, no matter how many hours I put into it, I cannot will myself into juggling. I don't know how to draw an audience of more than 100 people. Never learned how to do that, and I've been in the business most of my adult life. Can't sit still. I can't enjoy myself in a large crowd of people. I can't do a pull-up. How about that? I've never done a pull-up in my life. I'm not proud of it, but it's a fact. Childhood all the way up to 45 years old, not one pull-up. I'm just not that dude. And there's a whole bunch of things related to that. Let me think about that. We'll come back to it. Something I can do is That was for Shayna. Ah, I see. Ah, darn. Oh, wow. The last few people I've dated are musicians. Drum, bass, trombone. When you broke up, did they go, "Bwah, bwah, bwah"? I would have. Ah, trombone. Nice. Did you know they were musicians before you started dating them? Or did you date them and then you found out? All right. Per request, let's do a sonnet. This is sonnet number 28 by William Shakespeare. How can I then return in happy plight that am debarred the benefit of rest, when day's oppression is not eased by night, but day by night and night by day oppressed? And each, though enemy to either's reign, do in consent shake hands to torture me, the one by toil, the other to complain how far I toil, still farther off from thee. I tell the day to please them, thou art bright, and dost him grace when clouds do blot the heaven. So flatter I the swart complexed night, when sparkling stars 'twere not thou gilt'st the even. But day doth daily draw my sorrows longer, and night doth nightly make grief's strength seem stronger. Can't sleep. That's what that's all about. We've all been there. Do you guys suffer from insomnia? I used to. I haven't got it in a few years. Been pretty lucky. All right, let's see. Nice. Here's some more information here. Shayna says, I remember my 9th grade grammar teacher, Mrs. Cox, she prohibited us from using the word nice because that adjective is not very descriptive. So I guess I was being a rebel by using the word nice. I happen to agree with her. I think nice is a boring word for an adult, but for a kid, it's perfect. It's a wonderful thing to think about. Nice can be great. Yeah. I don't like to be described personally as nice, but music can be nice. A TV show can be nice. Just a vibe in a nice room is nice. But he has a person that always seemed to me to mean unattractive. Like, hey, did you meet Johnny Millwater? Yeah, he's nice. But you can't go wrong. Use what feels right. And she says, I don't know why I felt it necessary to tell you my grammar teacher's name. You better hope I'm not a grammar teacher murderer. Oh, I'd be the vaguest, weirdest serial killer ever. I wouldn't even know how to find them. Just really, really, really old teachers, retired. Look out, here I come. Now, Shayna says, I'm sure you've attracted so many large audiences. No. I've performed for many audiences, live audiences, but I've never drawn them. On the ships, I'd play for 1,500 people at a time sometimes, but they were all going to a comedy show. They weren't going to see Johnny Millwater to the last show of the cruise. And on land, they'd go to the comedy club. They wouldn't come see me. That's just how it is. Wish you could remember yours. You know, I can't remember my 9th grade English teacher either. Nope, can't remember the 9th grade at all. Should have made a video. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, you joke. Nice. Let's see. To the comedy club. Oh, that's perfect. Shayna just asked me a comedy club related question. Let's see. Have you ever dated any musicians, Shayna? I'm curious about such thing. Shayna asked, have you headlined at the Comedy Zone yet? I'm sure you have, right? Oh, yeah, I've headlined here. Hey, look, it's the Comedy Zone right there. I've headlined here 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I recorded my last album here, my Smile Noise album. I was recorded right here at the Comedy Zone. I've headlined, I've done every position at this club at some time or another, but I've never drawn a full house. I've never sold the place out. Maybe someday I'll figure out a way to do it. I don't know. I'm still working on it. Now, DJ Shayna, she says that she loves musicians. I love musicians too. I think they're wonderful, and I enjoy their company very, very much. They're very cool people, especially on the ships. And, all right, jokes. Sorry, I got a joke background. Let's focus up here, people. All right. Where do armies belong? In your sleeveys. So in your sleeveys. Another one? Okay. I just read a book about glue. I couldn't put it down. Fun. All right, let's spin the wheel. There's a new one. To the campfire. Let's see if I can figure this out. In what language are stomach rumbles? Hungarian. They are Hungarian. Ha! Boom. Hungarian. That's my guess. Final answer. Yeah. I'm the king at guessing this crap. I really wish there was a game show where I could monetize this ridiculous skill somehow. You got it, dude. All right. Zen Koan. Let me share a Zen Koan with you. I got a couple of them. This is the Zen Koan, number 59, Soldiers of Humanity. Once a division of the Japanese army was engaged in a sham battle, and some of the officers found it necessary to make their headquarters in Gassan's temple. Gassan told his cook, "Let the officers have only the same simple fare that we eat." This made the army men angry, as they were used to very deferential treatment. One came to Gassan and said, "Who do you think we are? We are soldiers, sacrificing our lives for our country. Why don't you treat us accordingly?" Gassan answered sternly, "Who do you think we are? We are soldiers of humanity, aiming to save all sentient beings." Yeah. All right, Shayna said, "What did the cross-dresser do at the Xmas party?" Oh, man, there's all kinds of stuff to get in arguments about in that. Let's see. Cross-dresser, femme presenting, I think. I don't know. I've always wondered what's the difference between somebody who, hey, you might know this consequently. You're smart about this kind of stuff. What's the difference? This is not a joke. This is a literal question. What's the difference between a man who likes wearing women's clothing, who used to be called a transvestite, I don't know what they're called now, and a transsexual is entirely different. That's somebody who is at their core a different gender than the one they were born with, and they live it 24 hours a day. What's the difference? What are they called now? Is it femme presenting? Is it temporarily femme presenting? Is it just a dude wearing ladies' clothes? I wouldn't mind something as simple as that. Let's see. What did the cross-dresser do at the Christmas party? Eat, drink, and be merry. That's an excellent guess, Dad. Is that correct, Shayna? That's pretty great. I wouldn't have thought of that. But it's a Christmas party. Oh, be merry. I got it. Oh, tell me that's right, Shayna. Oh, I really hope that's it. Is that it? Way to go, Dad. Oh, see? Where do you think I learned all the jokes from? The old man. Hey, I always liked that. That was fun. Okay, let's spin the wheel. Eat, drink, and be merry. Hey. Wisdom. Very nice. Let's see if we can't lay down some wisdom from on high. I saw this one on a meme and I enjoyed it very much. This is by an artist named Khalil Gibran, Khalil Gibran, and it's on fear. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages, and in front of her she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in this existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear. because that's where the river will know. It's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean. I like that one. Oh, here's a couple more things. Eat, drink, and be merry. Let's see. We all know the first rule of Fight Club. Well, that's true. What is, don't talk about Fight Club. Yay! Oh, thank you, Consequently. Oh, it's awesome. I can't wait to see it. All right. What is the first rule of Procrastination Club? I'll tell you later. Do you know why I got married? No, Dad. Why'd you get married? Nice. Oh, this is wonderful. Hey! Wonderful! I'm so glad you're enjoying an edible. That makes me so happy. Consequently says a transvestite is an old term for crossdresser. A crossdresser is someone who is born and identifies as a man who wears women's clothing, as opposed to someone who is transgender, is someone who is born as a man but identifies as a woman. Crossdresser is the word we're looking for, as opposed to transvestite. Thank you very much. It answered the question extremely well. You're doing great. What kind of edible? Are you eating brownies? Eating gummies? I'm always curious about these things. I had a heart attack a couple weeks back, and my doctor says I should quit smoking, and so I got to find other alternatives. Why did you get married? Because I was tired of making decisions. Seems like a joke, but it's not really a joke. Okay. Ooh, hey, here we go. Cookies. Oh, I'm listening. Cookies. I have some friend who owns a restaurant who make them, and they are so good. Very nice. It's good to know. I haven't had a freshman. I had a somebody came in and gave me a brownie about 3 months ago. But beyond that, I haven't had a baked good in quite some time. Shayna wants to know, Dad, you're not a comedian too? This ought to be good. I got tired of making decisions. Very nice. Let you guys catch up. Let's spin the wheel. It's like changing the backgrounds. Keeps it fun. There we go. Oh, acapella. Hey, these are both Shayna. Hold on. To the library. Let's meet in the acapella library. I'll read some lyrics for you. All right. As many of you know, Shayna is kind enough to provide me on occasion with some poems, with some wisdom, every now and then, a monologue. This week she gave me 2 songs to do for the a cappella portion of the show, and I'm a big fan of the both of them. I didn't recognize one of them from the lyrics because I'd never really listened to the lyrics before. So let's start with that one. That is by Pink Floyd, and the song is called Time. Powerful song. And the first comment on YouTube when I went to go watch it was, if this song hasn't made you cry yet, don't worry, it will. Another thing I like about the song is that it starts with sound effects of many, 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 many ticking and ringing clocks, much like Back to the Future, Shayna's favorite movie. So, also one of mine. I love that. This is Time by Pink Floyd. Ticking away the moments that make up a dull day, you fritter and waste the hours in an offhand way. Kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown, waiting for someone or something to show you the way. Tired of lying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain, and you are young, and life is long, and there is time to kill. Today. But then one day, you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun, and you run and run to catch up with the sun, but it's sinking, racing around to come up behind you again. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older, shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. Every year is getting shorter. Never seem to find the time. Plans that either come to naught or half a page of scribbled lines hanging on in quiet desperation is the English way. The time is gone. The song is over. Thought I'd have something more to say. Oh, I'm feeling that song hard. I'll tell you this. When I went to the theme park the other day, I had to leave halfway through the day. I just didn't have the energy. I got overheated. I was supposed to drive home last night, but I just didn't have the energy. I felt like somebody pulled my batteries. I couldn't think. I couldn't drive. I could barely stand up to go out and have dinner with the family. My energy is almost gone, so I have to learn new ways to cope. But I definitely feel that song very, very hard. Thank you, Shayna. I appreciate it. Shayna says, whoop, okay, well, hey, we got a couple one. Jim, you sure you're not a comedian too? He's just a funny guy. Oh yeah, I feel like I'm getting old. I know everybody feels that way until they stop, but yeah, I feel like I'm getting old. Look at it, I got the silver. Yeah, this whole thing, what are you gonna do? It's a phase. That's what I like to remind myself. Being old is a phase. Shayna asked if Dad was a comedian. He's a very, very funny guy. He made two, but he's not one. Sounds like a riddle. She says, Jim, it seems like you have a good sense of humor, though. He is a very, very funny man. Really good timing and facial expressions. I wish had to have one. He got married 3 times. Yep, that'll do it. That'll do it. Shayna says, I love that you recited these song lyrics. I love that you sent them to me. Thank you so much I wouldn't have thought of that. And I really enjoyed it. I love that Pink Floyd song. I do too. I listened to it today. And again, I wouldn't have if you hadn't sent it in. So thank you very much. Getting old. Yes, sir. Now, Shayna says, Johnny, you're younger than me. You are not old. Better than the alternative, Dad says. I'm getting old, and I feel old. And I think old is kind of how you feel. I've got an old soul. I was an old man in my 20s in my head. Now my body's starting to catch up. Yeah. Well. Better than the alternative? Probably. I don't know. Some people think it's better afterwards. I hope they're right, but I don't think they are. Hey, let's spin the wheel. Am I younger than you, Shayna? I'm taller than you. Monologue. Oh, nice. Let's go to the theater. I got some good stuff for you. Shayna says, do I seem like an old soul or a young soul to you? You seem like a very old soul to me, especially watching your 9th grade video. Yeah, you strike me as someone who, old souls get more respect. Oh, man. I don't know how much respect is based on, the respect I get is not based on my soul. It's based solely on my actions, I think, and just the kindness I've done people. That's it. That's the only thing that people respond to as far as I know in my life. But out of reach soul, ooh, that's a good one too. Old souls don't get more respect, but they listen more. I think old souls, they kind of remind me of the old donkey in Animal Farm. They've seen it all before, they've seen it all again, so they're able to take more of life as entertainment. I don't know if that makes sense. But I've got some comedy for you. The great thing is I drove 2.5 hours 2 days ago and 2.5 hours this morning. So I picked out some stand-up that I haven't done before from 2 of my favorite comedians. I'm going to start us off with some John Mulaney. John Mulaney is, in my opinion, definitely one of the top 5 comedians working today. Definitely one of my favorites. But this is a bit from his special Kid Gorgeous. And it is my favorite piece of political comedy. And the genius of this piece is that he's talking about Donald Trump and Donald Trump being president. When he wrote this, it was 1 year after Donald Trump had become president, so he was just reacting to it. But he never says Donald Trump. He never says president. I think he says president, but he never says Donald Trump. Never says Republican or Democrat or anything political. It's a metaphor the entire way through, and I think it's absolutely brilliant, so I wanted to perform it. This is Horse in a Hospital by John Mulaney. I never really cared about politics. Never talked about them much. But then, last November, the strangest thing happened. Now, I don't know if you've been following the news, but I've been keeping my ears open, and it seems like everyone everywhere is super mad about everything all the time. I try to stay a little optimistic, even though I will admit things are getting pretty sticky. Here's how I try to look at it, and this is just me. This guy being president, it's like there's a horse loose in a hospital. It's like a horse loose in a hospital. I think eventually everything's going to be okay, but I have no idea what's going to happen next. And neither do any of you, and neither do your parents, because there's a horse loose in the hospital. It's never happened before. No one knows what the horse is going to do next, least of all the horse. He's never been in a hospital before. He's as confused as you are. There's no experts. They try to find experts on the news. They're like, we're joined today by a man that once saw a bird in the airport. Get out of here with that shit. We've all seen a bird in the airport. This is a horse loose in a hospital. When a horse is loose in a hospital, you got to stay updated, right? So you walk along all day. What did the horse do? What did the horse do? Yeah, and some of the updates, they're not always bad. Sometimes they're just odd. It'll be like, the horse used the elevator. I didn't know he knew how to do that. The creepiest days are when you don't hear from the horse at all. You're down in the operating room like, has anyone heard? There are those quiet days when people are like, it looks like the horse is finally calmed down. And then 10 seconds later, the horse is like, I'm going to run towards the baby incubators and smash them with my hooves. I got nice hooves and a long tail. I'm a horse. Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say, you dumb fucking horse. And then you go to brunch with people, and they're like, there shouldn't be a horse in the hospital. And it's like, we're well past that. Then other people are like, if there's going to be a horse in the hospital, I'm going to say the N-word on TV. And those don't match up at all. And then, for a second, it seemed like maybe we could survive the horse. And then 5,000 miles away, a hippo was like, I have a nuclear bomb, and I'm going to blow up the hospital. And before we could say anything, the horse was like, if you even look at the hospital, I will stomp you to death with my hooves. I dare you to do it. I want you to do it. I want you to do it so I can stomp you with my hooves. I'm so fucking crazy. You think you're crazy? I'm a fucking hippopotamus. I live in a fucking lake of mud. I'm fucking crazy. And all of us are like, okay. Like poor Andy Cohen at those goddamn reunions. Okay. And then, for a second, we were like, maybe the horse catcher will catch the horse. And then the horse is like, I have fired the horse catcher. He can do that? That shouldn't be allowed no matter who the horse is. I don't remember that in Hamilton. Sometimes, if you make fun of the horse, people will get upset. These are the people that open the door for the horse. And I don't judge anyone, but sometimes I ask people, I go, hey, how come you open the door for the horse? And they go, well, the hospital was inefficient. Okay, all right. Or sometimes they go, if you're so mad at the horse, how come you weren't mad when the last guy did this 3.5 years ago? You're beating up on the horse when the last guy did essentially the same thing 5 years ago. First off, get out of here with your facts, all right? You're like the kid at the sleepover who after midnight is like, it's tomorrow now. Get the fuck out of here with your technicalities. Just because you're accurate does not mean you're interesting. That was fun when we watched Beetlejuice last night. Don't you mean last night? When we watched Beetlejuice tonight, don't you mean last night? It's after midnight. Why don't you get your sleeping bag and get out of my house? Take your EpiPen. Take your goddamn EpiPen and get out of my house. But when people say, how come you were never mad at the last guy? I say, because I wasn't paying attention. I used to pay less attention before it was a horse. Also, I thought the last guy was pretty smart, and he seemed good at his job. And I'm lazy by nature, so I don't check up on people when they seem okay at their job. You may think that's an ignorant answer, but it's not. It's a great answer. If you left your baby with your mother tonight, you're not going to race home and check the nanny cam. But if you leave your baby with Gary Busey, and now there's Nazis again. That has nothing to do with anything. It's the end of the bit is Gary Busey, but it's my favorite segue of all time. And now there's Nazis again, because he's trying to get from Donald Trump jokes to jokes about his Jewish wife. so the connector is, and now there's Nazis again. Anyway, that's a fantastic bit, and I enjoy doing it. All right, let's see. Do I seem like an old soul? Very nice. Out of reach soul? Oh, hard to find. Shayna says, I used to always think I was an old soul, but a couple of people recently said I seem like an young soul. But I don't even know what that really means. Do you? To me, an old soul is someone who's a little bit more evolved about what things are important. It's a different set of values. Old souls, young souls, I think, are about money and sexual satisfaction and being good looking and, kind of basic stuff, while old souls are more interested in poetry and music and theater and the human experience and what it means to be alive. I think that's the major difference. It's your focus. It's your values. And you seem to me to be an old soul. Dad's an old soul. He has been for as long as I've known him. And consequently, you seem like an old soul, but we hardly ever talk, so I don't know for sure. You date a lot of musicians, that doesn't bode well for the old soul thing. Let's find out. Well, that was fun. Oh, here we go. That's not how I thought of old soul. Well, how do you think about it? Dad is a very old soul. And a very old soul is he. He calls for his pipe, and he calls for his bowl, and he calls for his fiddlers 3. Turns out those are all metaphors. And bowl means pipe. It's just another part of the pipe. I guess different people. I have been called an old soul, but it's just trauma. There is that. There are folks who live 75 years and 10 years of childhood, and that'll make you grow up a lot faster. That's a really good answer. Thank you, consequently. All right, let's spin the wheel. I thought old souls. Oh, nice poem. Got a couple of good ones for you, too. Meet me in the poetry corner. Now, what do you mean by more evolved? I'd be curious to know more specifically what you mean. More evolved as in like they have 2 thumbs, or have learned many lessons from previous lives, if you believe in reincarnation. There's something there. Something there. I don't know if our consciousness survives from one life to the next, but I think a lot of our cells and molecules and atoms are made up of other people from other times and other stuff. Well, speaking of that, let's see. We got some poetry. I got a couple of them. We got some Edgar Allan Poe, and we got some Maya Angelou to start with. Bull. Oh, okay. Dad's calling bull. On which part, Dad? On which part? I like that you're willing to call bull at any time. All right, we'll do some Edgar Allan Poe because Dad likes Edgar Allan Poe, and so do I. Who doesn't, right? Young souls, they don't like Edgar Allan Poe. This is Alone by Edgar Allan Poe. From childhood's hour I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I loved alone. Then in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill the mystery which binds me still, from the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff or the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm, and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view. Fun. Here we go. Dad called bull on reincarnation. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know what you... I don't know. We generally avoid politics on the program, but I'm interested to know what you think happens when you die. Why did the traffic light turn red? Because 3 minutes and 45 seconds passed. That's probably not it. Let me think about that. Why did the traffic light turn red? It was probably embarrassed somehow? Something like that? I don't know. You turn red too if you have to change in the middle of the street. Nice. Nice. I'm telling that one. I like that joke. To the joke room. Turn it sideways for this one. Here we go. Why did the traffic light turn red? You'd turn red too if you changed in the middle of the street. That's pretty close. All right. Nice. Let's spin the wheel. You are remembered but gone. I hope you're right. Hope you're right. I'll take remembered but gone. Roses and thorns, yay! Let's talk about our week. Let's go down to the chat chalet. Roses and thorns this week. Tell me all about it, Dad, non-sequently, Shayna, anybody else who's watching silently. Now's a good time to jump in. For those of you that don't know, roses and thorns are an old tradition in my family where we sit at the dinner table and we talk about the good things that happen in our day and the bad things that happen in our day. That's it. So let's see, roses and thorns. Last week, the whole week, I've had no energy whatsoever. I felt very, very under the weather psychologically. Big, long naps during the day, but the kids were home the whole week. I got to spend the whole week with the kids. I got to hang out with my niece a little bit. She's 2 and adorable, and she walked into my room when I was sleeping. She said, come here. And it turned out she was going to have a cupcake, and she was very excited. She wanted to tell me about it, and that's the kind of joy that makes me happy. She reacted to everything that way. We played ping pong, and she had the ping pong paddle in this hand and the ball in this hand, and when she served, she would go, and just throw the ball, and she's adorable. And I told you already about the theme park. Tweetsie Railroad was absolutely wonderful, as great as everything I remembered. We had a nice meal. We went out to a Thai restaurant called The Moon, and I enjoyed that very much. Again, family time. We got to spend pool. Hey, they had a pool table at the little cabin that we Airbnb'd up in Blowing Rock, so I got to play pool with my wife and my kids several times, which I enjoyed very much. And we played a game called the game of Things, which is too difficult to explain, but it was time together and it was great. Debbie made fantastic food last night, and I enjoyed that very much. The roses have just been being with the people I love, and the thorns have just been feeling poorly, but I feel better now. It's probably because I'm drinking a lot of coffee. Let's pick up. Now, Shayna, before we get to move on, she says, I'm not sure we will all be remembered. I think everybody will be remembered, but for a very, very little amount of time. Even the most famous people. 2 generations. How many people do we know from 2 generations ago? But, that'd be nice to be remembered for a little while for the people who love you. Rose saw lovely pictures of Shayna. Well, I'm interested to know, did she send you some? Did she start texting you pictures? Or did you seek them out? Did you go through her feed and see the pictures that she's posted? Very photogenic young lady, no question. Thorn too old for Shayna. Shayna says that Johnny is going to sing We'll Meet Again in my honor. That's true. We sat down at lunch a couple weeks ago, and I have signed up. If I outlive Shayna, and I definitely won't outlive Shayna. If I outlive Shayna, I am going to sing We'll Meet Again at her funeral or her memorial service. Will Spann also has a gig. Will Spann, Johnny and Will Spann can have all of my art because you both appreciate it so much, and I'd be very proud to distribute it. There's some more right there. I got to figure, I wish there was some way that I could display more art. Maybe I'll play with the background here. Something. I got to figure out a way. I'd like to have a little frame. Something. I'll play with it. Ha ha. Dad says Facebook. Good answer. I'm so glad to hear that. Your dad and I were sexting. There's a sentence you never like to see. And she's just kidding, which takes the bite out a little bit. Roses and thorns. So let's see if I can guess your. If you're still here, non-sequently, I'm curious about your roses and thorns. And if you're not, you're leaving. One of my thorns. Shayna got to see the live show. She got to sell some pictures. She took an art class. And I don't remember my own life, but for some reason those things, I think it's because I saw it on Facebook. It stuck out in my memory. So it sounds like a pretty good week, except for the jerk who stood you up on the show night. There it is. I had fun last night, despite my date canceling. Way to make it happen. Very glad to hear it. As close as I get. As close as Dad gets to sexting. I understand. That's very funny to me because Dad hates texting. Hates it. And phone calls are almost as bad. But I understand. I'm glad you guys are keeping in touch, keeping each other company. That makes me happy. Both some of my favorite people. All right, roses and thorns. Oh, wait, consequently, yay! She said, I'm here. Rose, a really lovely last week of Pride. So glad to hear it. With so many cool events. I'm always curious what the events are. The thorn, frustrated with work, but that's nothing new. That's true. You've been frustrated with work most of the times you come in. But the line of work that you've chosen, it's a frustrating line of work. When you help people full time, you're dealing with a lot of hassles, especially if you're going through the United States medical system or the government. One of those two. I'm not sure which of the two you work for. But I know you're helping people, so I'm hoping it's one of those two. Oh, hey, shit. Oh, no, we got a pepper thorn. Shayna said that thorn pepper got into her food bucket, ate way too much, and then she pooped on the floor yesterday. Well, we've all been there. I haven't picked up poop in 3 days because I've been on vacation and the dog stayed home with our friends. So that was pretty nice. Sorry about that. Nobody likes picking up poop. But at least it wasn't human poop, right? Consequently, things are looking up. Sorry you're frustrated with work. Is there anything in particular that's sticking out? Is it just the bureaucracy? Is it the politics? Is it the one of those two things? I don't know. Whoop, there's time. So I tell you what, why don't we spin the wheel, see what happens next. Four-letter words are banned. Work! That's what Dad, well, I've always, Shakespeare. Nice. Let's go to the Shakespeare stage. Work! That's an inside, it was an inside joke, sort of with our family, as work is a four-letter word, and I have been lazy my entire life. I think it goes hand in hand with creativity. No, for sure, but when I was little, I'd never wanted to go outside and mow the lawn or anything because it's 5,000 degrees, and anything that involved work in Florida involved being outdoors, and it turns out that's what I really hated. It's not work that I'm afraid of, but yeah, anytime that my mom or my dad would try to talk me into doing some kind of work, they would always go, work! Oh no, work! So that's what Dad's talking about. Shayna says, do you think your dogs pooped on your friend's floor while you were out of town? They actually, my friend stayed at our house, and I'm certain the dogs pooped on our floor while we were gone. Oh, consequently, nice. There was a screening of a local queer history project. A friend of mine spoke publicly about being trans and did a great job. That's exciting. That's nice to see. Is it their first time public speaking, or is it something they do for a living? That's a big fear for everybody. That's exciting. Let's see. Did a great job. A fun Pride event out on a green. Very nice. One of the many colors of the rainbow, the green. Glad they got involved. Also, got to spend some time with my teen mentee from a program I'm a part of. Excellent. Always nice to help the young people. It took her and her girlfriend to a production of Rent. Yes, I haven't seen even seen Rent yet. I haven't even seen the movie. I should go check it out. I'm glad you got to go see it. Was it a nice big theater production? Was it a touring production? Or was it like a high school? Excuse me, lots and lots of people have put on Rent. It's very, very popular. And what is your favorite musical? Dad, what's your favorite musical? Do you have one? Shayna, what's your favorite musical? I'm a Hamilton man myself. I know it's very, very popular to say that right now, but I've never seen anything that made me feel more than Hamilton, and I've been watching musicals my whole life. Here we go. Also, a four-letter word, lazy. That's absolutely true. You don't want to be like that. Johnny, I've been meaning to ask you a question. Okay, well, you've come to the right place. Music Man. Oh, good choice. There's trouble, there's trouble, there's trouble, there's trouble. Love Music Man. It's been way too long since I've seen that. I got to check that out. I didn't know that, Dad. That's really cool. Now, Shane, if you want to ask me a question, you go right ahead. But I'm going to go ahead and do this brief performance from the Scottish play. This is one of the few soliloquies that I actually know by heart. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy performing it. This is right after the king, near the end of the play. They're about to they're invading the castle, whose name escapes me at the moment, and the forest is coming to get it. The name of the forest escapes my mind at the moment. But just as everything's going wrong and he's about to be overthrown, he finds out that his wife, the queen, has died. And he says, she should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day until the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life is a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. There's a little bit. That's a sad point of view about death, but, you know, I can see where he's coming from. Oh, here come some questions. Now, consequently, oh, hey! I have an extra ticket to see the Broadway show of Back to the Future. Do you want to be my guest? It depends on where it is and when it is. DM me. I might be able to. I'll throw on a suit and go see a show if I don't have to get a babysitter or something. That sounds fun. I'm curious about it. I saw a brief number in the Thanksgiving parade, and as much as I love the movie, I'm curious about the music, but I don't know anything about it yet. Okay, consequently, she gave me some more information. It was my friend's second time speaking. Good for her. Her first was the week before. Wow, that's exciting. And do you get to do? Let me double check the pronouns here. Did she get to do a third one? Is she going to be a speaker now, like once a year? Is it something? What was the occasion that brought her forth to speak? Craig Collin and his wife Kathy are also going. Well, they've got great taste, and I'm crazy about both of them. And did you know Chris Collins' favorite movie is also Back to the Future? I did not know that. I love that movie. It's the first movie I saw in the theater, so I understand why. It's a great movie. And I do love that movie a lot, too. Now, she consequently said, have you done any monologues from Angels in America? I have not even seen Angels in America, but I'm going to write that down right now, and I will have one for you next week. Angels in America. That's an HBO miniseries, I believe. Also a play, is it not? I think it's a play. No, I am not familiar with it, but I will find one for you, and thank you for asking. Next month, I'll let you know. It was in Charlotte. I like that. Next month, I like that. I will let you know the details. Oh, and I want to get to, I think, oh, hey, Dad, hey, we're planning on coming down to Florida this week. So I'm hoping we can come see you. We're leaving on Tuesday. Don't tell the robbers. We're going to come down on Tuesday. We're going to visit Debbie's parents for a couple days. Her dad's birthday is July 3rd. And then we want to come visit you for a couple days. And I would very much like to see you. So here's a heads up because I keep forgetting to mention it. There you go. Hope to see you if it's okay. And then the week after that, when I get back, I'd like to have lunch with you again, Shayna. If you're available, I'll drop you some information in your DMs and we could sit. Because I really enjoyed that meal. That was fun sitting and talking with you. So, I have not seen it. I've never seen it. Tony Kushner wrote the play. I'm not even familiar with Tony Kushner. That's out of the loop I am. I'm guessing there's not a lot of songs, but I will definitely check it out. It's written down now. Thank you for the heads up. If you cut and paste a monologue and you send it to me in my DMs, then that'll be even faster. That'll save me a ton of time. Shayna's kind enough to do that for me. But if you don't have the time for it, I will find it. You should try Angels in America. If you do, shoot me a text and let me know what you think. I certainly will. I'll see if I can find it. Shayna says, tell Debbie I said hello. That's important, I guess, because the lunch thing. You don't want people to misunderstand. Debbie is my beloved wife, and she says hi, too. I love Debbie. So do I. So does Dad. Dad's a big fan of Debbie. Almost as big a fan of Debbie as I am. Consequently, it says, you should try Angels in America. I will send you a text. Joy to the world. Now I must vacuum. You got a vacuum? Did you spell something? Is it evacuate? Is that what you're trying to say? I like joy to the world. Now I must vacuum. I'm excited to see what this... Yeah, I hope you'll retype that, Dad, because I have no idea what that means. And I'm a little concerned, because joy to the world, that's a big one. Now I must vacuum. Vacuum. We'll never know. But vacuum, okay. Oh, nice. Yes. She is a part of the Speakers Bureau for LGBTQIA plus people, so she will be speaking at a bunch of different places now. That's fantastic. I'm excited. I know that's a great market that's opening up, and always a lovely and receptive audience in my experience. All right, let's spin the wheel. All right, here we go. To the comedy club. Here we go. What happens when a doctor gets frustrated? He loses his patience. Yeah, all right. Hey. What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Another one? I gotta go one more, but that's it. One more, but that's it. Why do nurses like red crayons? Because sometimes they have to draw blood. Let's see. Oh, you're the nicest to say. Thank you so much for saying so. I was a comedian for a while. Thank you. Who am I to argue? You're very kind. That's what I'm trying to say. You're very kind indeed. Let's spin the wheel. Facial expressions. Yay! That's what I should call this show. Facial expressions. Oh, good. I got another nice piece for you. Meet me in the prose library. All right, we have for you, good folks, some Carl Sagan, brilliant scientist, creator of the hit television series Cosmos, which I used to watch on PBS as a young man. This is from his book, The Demon-Haunted World. It's just a small excerpt. It's about the books and how important they are to being human. Here we go. For 99% of the tenure of humans on Earth, nobody could read or write. The great invention had not yet been made. Except for first-hand experience, almost everything we knew was passed only by word of mouth, as in the children's game telephone. Over tens and hundreds of generations, information would slowly be distorted and lost. Books changed all that. Books, purchasable at a low cost, permit us to interrogate the past with high accuracy, to tap the wisdom of our species, to understand the point of view of others, and not just those in power, to contemplate with the best teachers the insights, painfully extracted from nature, of the greatest minds that ever were, drawn from the entire planet and from all of our history. They allow people long dead to talk inside our heads. Books can accompany us anywhere. Books are patient where we are slow to understand, allow us to go over the hard parts as many times as we wish, and are never critical of our lapses. Books are key to understanding the world and participating in a democratic society. Nice. Carl Sagan, everybody. Dad says, old but still kind of funny. Yeah, the joke, you mean? Yeah, there's the classics. You're a good storyteller. It's very kind of you to say. A big part of it is being able to do this show and getting some practice in, so thank you so much. I don't mean to shower you with so much praise. I'll take it. I don't have to believe it, but I'll hear it. Spread that rumor. That's what I always tell people. Thank you very much for saying so. And I deserve it. You're very, very kind. Thank you, Shayna. I appreciate you. Let's spin the wheel. Now, Dad said old, but still sort of funny. What happened to the vacuum? It's hard to keep track sometimes. Let's spin the wheel. His head is getting bigger. That's not untrue. The Zen Koans, very nice. Meet me at the campfire. My head is getting bigger. Weird. I've got for you a great Zen Koan. This is Zen Koan number 60, The Tunnel. Zenkai, the son of a samurai, journeyed to Edo, and there became the retainer of a high official. He fell in love with the official's wife and was discovered. In self-defense, he slew the official. Then he ran away with the wife. Both of them later became thieves. But the woman was so greedy that Zenkai grew disgusted. Finally, leaving her, he journeyed far away to the province of Buzen, where he became a wandering mendicant, which is the most common kind of mendicant. To atone for his past, Zenkai resolved to accomplish some good deed in his lifetime. Knowing of a dangerous road over a cliff that had caused the death and injury of many persons, he resolved to cut a tunnel through the mountain there. Begging food in the daytime, Zenkai worked at night digging his tunnel. When 30 years had gone by, the tunnel was 2,280 feet long, 20 feet high, and 30 feet wide. 2 years before the work was completed, the son of the official he had slain, who was a skillful swordsman, found Zenkai out and came to kill him in revenge. "I will give you my life willingly," said Zenkai. "Only let me finish this work. On the day it is completed, then you may kill me." So the son awaited the day. Several months passed, and Zendai kept on digging. The son grew tired of doing nothing and began to help with the digging. After he had helped for more than a year, he came to admire Zenkai's strong will and character. At last, the tunnel was completed, and the people could use it and travel in safety. "Now cut off my head," said Zenkai. "My work is done." "How can I cut off my own teacher's head?" asked the younger man with tears in his eyes. Yeah. Spin the wheel. Why'd you have to vacuum, Dad? I missed that. I'd love to meet for lunch. Beautiful. We'll make it happen. Wisdom. Oh, good. Let's lay down some wisdom from on high. Love to meet for brunch. My head is getting bigger. We're all up to speed. We got some Alan Watts for you because, as you know, he's my favorite. This is wisdom from the great Alan Watts, who said, "Almost every fundamental principle of life can be expressed in two opposite ways. There are those who say that to attain the highest wisdom, we must be still and calm, immovable in the midst of turmoil. And there are those who say that we must move on as life moves, never stopping for a moment either in fear of what is to come or to turn a regretful glance at what has gone. The former are those who listen to music, letting the flow of notes pass through their minds without trying either to arrest them or to speed them on. Like Shang-Chi's perfect man, they employ their minds as a mirror. It grasps nothing, it refuses nothing. It receives, but does not keep. The latter are those who dance to music, keeping pace with its movement and letting their limbs flow with it as unceasingly and as unhesitatingly as clouds respond to the breath of wind. The one seems to reflect events as they pass, and the other to move forward with them. Both points of view, however, are true, and to attain that highest wisdom, we must at once walk on and remain still. Consider life as a revolving wheel set upright with a man walking on his tire. As he walks, the wheel is revolving towards him beneath his feet. And if he is not to be carried backward by it and flung to the ground, he must walk at the same speed as the wheel turns. If he exceeds that speed, he will topple forward and slip off the wheel onto his face. For every moment we stand, as it were, on top of the wheel, immediately We try to cling to that moment, to that particular point of the wheel. It is no longer at the top, and we are off our balance. Thus, by not trying to seize the moment, we keep it. For the second we fail to walk on, we cease to remain still. Yet within this, there is a still deeper truth. From the standpoint of eternity, we can never and never do leave the top of the wheel. For if a circle is set in infinite space, it has neither a top nor bottom. Wherever you stand is the top, and it revolves only because you are pushing it round with your own feet. Wonderful. Here we go. His head is getting bigger. I'd love to meet for brunch. Clean my house for you and your family. Oh, that makes sense. That's very kind of you to do so if you feel like it. And I know we'll be happy to clean when we get there. At least Debbie and I will help. I'll help a little. Debbie will help a lot. She has more energy. I'd rather have breakfast with you. I hear that. I'll have breakfast. Oh, God. All right. I think that was Dad talking to Dean. Okay. All right. Let's spin the wheel. Yeah, I know you were talking to Shayna, Dad. I recognize the move. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Let's spin the wheel. Acapella. All right, then. Let's do some more acapella. Let's do... well, first, let's go to the acapella library. This is the second song picked out by Shayna. She was kind enough to send me the lyrics, and I'm very happy to read them. Your dad makes me feel special, then I'm 100% for it. As long as there's no discomfort, I'm down. All right. This is I Am a Rock by Simon Garfunkel. Great song. Listen to this today, too. A winter's day in a deep and dark December. I am alone, gazing from my window to the streets below on a freshly fallen, silent shroud of snow. I am a rock. I am an island. I've built walls a fortress deep and mighty that none may penetrate. I have no need of friendship. Friendship causes pain. Its laughter and its loving I disdain. I am a rock. I am an island. Don't talk of love. Well, I've heard the word before. It's sleeping in my memory. I won't disturb the slumber of feelings that have died. If I never loved, I never would have cried. I am a rock. I am an island. I have my books and my poetry to protect me. I am shielded in my armor, hiding in my room, safe within my womb. I touch no one, and no one touches me. I am a rock. I am an island. And a rock feels no pain. And an island never cries. Dad makes me feel special. Good deal. You are special. I happen to agree. It's a shame that Simon and Garfunkel split up. Yeah, I think that was before I was even born. I never got into Paul Simon's or Art Garfunkel's solo work. I should probably check some of that out. There's a couple guys like Paul Simon and also Paul McCartney, who I feel like, and also Bob Dylan, who I feel like I should listen to every song they've ever written because they're all going to be interesting and valid and fun. So maybe I'll do that sometime. I feel like you should sing some Mr. Rogers songs. Well, I know them all by heart, so yeah, I'll do it for you. Let's see, opening or closing? Let's do the opening. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside. And when you wake up ready to say, I'm gonna make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling that I'll be back when the day is new, and I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too. There we go. I love that song. Dad knows all the songs too. We watched a whole lot of Mr. Rogers. And I sing this song. I've taken to wearing a red cardigan at home, like Mr. Rogers used to wear. And I sing that song every day. As soon as I walk in the door, I put it on. It feels great. And I sing the Welcome Aboard song. So here it is. Here's the, let's see, neighborhood. Here it is. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. Always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? Hello, neighbor. Ah, such good stuff. I love that show. My kids won't watch it, and it feels weird to watch as a grown man by yourself, but I still do from time to time when I need to pick me up. All right, this is nice. Oh, we only got 10 minutes left. We still got a couple more things I'd like to perform. Yeah, it brings back a lot of memories for me, too. Ah, I love that show. I love that guy. It's my favorite preacher. Let's spin the wheel, see what happens next. Monologue. Meet me in the theater. This is stand-up comedy by the brilliant Louis C.K., who we all know has done horrible things, but he is the greatest stand-up comedy alive, and probably the greatest stand-up comic who's ever lived. I think he's knocking on Carlin's door with the amount of work he puts out, especially after having the bottom drop out of his whole life. He continued to put out quality, 3 more specials. This is from the special right before the shit hit the fan. And this is a particularly good special. I'm a big fan of watching Louis C.K. with my 14-year-old son because Louis says a lot of things that are extremely wise about history, about humanity, about relationships, about personality, about being a human being. He's very, very wise. And this one is a pretty good explanation of a weird quirk that we don't think about much. This is from his special 2017. I'm going to call this Christianity is the Main One by Louis C.K. I have 2 kids. I try to be a better person around my kids. I try to change my behavior around them. Like I have rules in my house, and they all apply to me. Like, I have a rule that I don't curse around my kids. That's a rule. It does happen. You have a stressful moment, and you're with your kids, so you say something by mistake. One time, I was making dinner for my kids, and I gave my daughter a bowl of soup. And I said, here's your fucking soup. But, yeah, you can see how that was tough. You know, you're supposed to teach your kids right from wrong. And I don't know, it's confusing. Some people raise their kids religiously, and that covers it. They kind of go, all this, do that. I'm not raising my kids religiously because I don't feel like it. Get up on a Sunday? Fuck that. Fuck that. Let your souls rot, kids. I don't care. I'm not getting, Daddy, who's genius? None of your business. Go back to bed. But my kids, they're living in the world, and there's a lot of religion in the world. You have to teach your kids. If you're not raising them religiously, you have to teach them about religion. I tell my kids the same thing. I tell them that there are many religions in the world, and they're all equal, but that Christians are the main one. That's what I tell them. The Christians won. They're the winners, so act accordingly. Congratulate Christians when you meet them, because they won the world. And it's true. It's true. We love to tell ourselves every religion is exactly, no. No, they're not. No. The Christians won everything a long time ago. If you don't believe me, let me ask you a question. What year is it? I mean, come on. What year is it according to the entire human race? And why? What year is it? Anybody? Sir, just yell out the year. That's right. It's 2017. What is that? That's a number. It's not just any number. It must be a very important number because we're counting to it in unison as a species. For thousands of years, we've been going 1, 2, 3. Come on, everybody. 4. Now, come on, Africa. 5, 6. What is this number? We're counting the days since what? Since there was ever people? Or since the sun did something? Not at all. It's been 2017 years since what? Anybody? Yell it out. Christ. Yes. Christ. That's right. It's been 2017 years since Christ. Jesus. We are counting the days since Jesus. Together. Which makes sense if you're a Christian. But what the fuck are the rest of us doing? Jesus was here. Jesus was here. Jesus was here. Everybody. Scientists, historians. Jesus. Jesus. Jesus plus 2. Jesus plus 3. Jesus plus 4. Jesus plus 2017 years, 4 months, and 3 days is when your license expires. How is that not a win for the Christians? How is that not a complete win? That's not a Monday off in October. There was no time before Jesus. And the whole world went, okay, sure. Then somebody was like, what about the years before him? There were billions. I mean, infinity. Those go backwards. You want us to measure most of history backwards to accommodate one religion? Uh-huh. All right, we'll do it. It's fine. It's fine. We'll do it. The whole world. You ever watch New Year's Eve around the world? They always show you how every country celebrates. It's kind of cool. The first one is one little island. It's the first place that's actually the place that it's the year. It's this little island in the Pacific. I forget what it's called. They do a little ceremony for New Year's Eve every year. And they just wear grass because they don't even have sticks yet. They're in the grass age. They have no clocks, but they do a little dance. 2017. And it goes around the world. 2017. 2017. Death to all Christians in 2017. The Jews are quietly keeping track. It's really 5766, but that's for us. We're just, that's okay. We're keeping track for when you snap out of it, but it's all right. I'll write yours on my check. I don't want a problem. What about Chinese New Year? Yeah. What about Chinese New Year? All right. Next time you're doing your taxes, just write monkey where the year goes. Just put monkey. See what happens to your funds. No. It's 2017, year of our Lord Jesus, a clock on the nose. And they made it up. That's the wildest part. They got to rename years that had already taken place because, that's not what those years were. You know that, right? That the year 3 wasn't the year 3 during the year 3. Nobody was walking around back then. Hey, what year is it? It's 3. Yeah, but I'm 28. How can I be 28 if there's only been 3? Oh, well, you see, you were born in BC 24. And there's a 0. Remember, it went backwards? Oh, shit, that was stressful. I hated those years. What was that like? What year is it? 10. What year is it now? 9. What the fuck is going to happen? There we go. Marvelous. As do I. Brings back memories, singing along with you every single word. I love those Mr. Rogers songs. Hard to forget. One last thing, the word flux on my price tag is a reference to the Back to the Future. Flux capacitor. Very nice. Would love to buy some of your art. Do you have a website? Excellent question. Go get them, Dad. I love to see you supporting art. I happen to be a proud owner of an authentic Shayna Cashner myself, and I can't recommend it highly enough. All right. Oh, thanks, Dad. Another great bit. He's so brilliant. He's the best there is, and I'm tired of pretending that he's not. All right, let's spin the wheel. Poem. All right, let's do a poem. We got to wrap this up. This will be the last piece, and then we got to go. I'm afraid we're not going to have time to play the game today, Shayna. We had a whole lot of fun talking. It's nice to have some people in the room. This is a poem by Maya Angelou. We all enjoy the Maya Angelou. This is Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Lovely. All right. Well, I'm afraid it's time for me to wrap it up. I've got my dear friend Craig Collin coming in to write with me for a future show. Oh, got music. Didn't mean to do that. But hey, why not? Why not have music in the background? Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you next time. And remember, the only way to save this country is for all of us to love one another. So love yourself first, then find somebody else to love. Then if you can, love everybody. That's what I'm trying to do. Sing along if you know the words, everybody. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through just like you always do, and the blue clouds will push the dark skies far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know and tell 'em I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, I don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Thanks for watching, everybody. We have next Sunday off because I'm going to be traveling to go see my dad, but I'll be back the Sunday after that. So until next time, be good, but not too good. Bye-bye.